So some of those masks actually looked a bit improvised. Anyway, joining us now to talk about the impact of the swine flu on Mumbai, whether the government has done enough, is all of this an overreaction? We've got a range of voices with us. We'll be going across to the Chief Minister, Ashok Chavan, very shortly. But we've got with us here in our studios, we've got Dr. Hemant Thakkar, who's consultant physician with the Jaslok, Breach Candy and Bhatia Hospital. Thanks very much indeed, sir, for joining us. Also joining us is that other well-known public health expert, Prahlad Kakkar. No, he's here. He's here more as an outraged citizen of Mumbai, and he's going to be talking about what he thinks of the government's measures. Also joining us is Shilpa Shetty, because the film industry has also been impacted by what's happened here in Mumbai with the government's decision. Also, Shirish Handa, who's Senior VP Marketing, Fun Cinemas. And we also have with us Vandana Lula, who's the Director and Principal of Podar International School. Thank you, ma'am, for being on the show. But first, really to you, Dr. Thakkar, you think this is necessary, the government's decision to shut down schools, colleges and multiplexes? Or a bit of an overreaction?
Well, I think schools I can justify if it's left to the primary schools where children cannot express their symptoms, where they cannot say from within that they are feeling breathless. But students over the age of 14 and 16 who can talk, colleges, where the kids are very smart.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary, I think, because you're running away from the problem. Multiplexes, I would say, don't visit unless mandatory. Cinema halls and theatres don't visit unless mandatory. Leave it to the civic responsibility. By shutting schools, you're only creating a scare which is getting out of proportion.
Okay. Dr. Lula, would you agree that shutting down schools is going to create a scare out of proportion?
I think, yes, there was too much of overreaction, but I must say there was too many anxious parents. It's the newspapers and the media which actually showed so many cases of death in schools. So, I mean, identifying students with various problems. And I think a lot of anxious parents started calling up schools and asked schools, why are you running schools if there is so much of epidemic in the city? So I think, yes, it's because of the anxious parents that schools and I think Maharashtra state government decided to shut down schools. And it's also true that there are small kids who are 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old who won't be able to express. But definitely it was the need of the hour. But also there's not much lost because we have some 3-4 holidays because of Janmashtami and Parsi New Year. So that's what I felt.
Thank you in a second. Prahlad Kakkar, what's your take on this decision and overall on what the government has done so far on swine flu?
To a very large extent, it's a government-created panic situation because they've restricted testing and treatment to such small areas that people feel that they'll have to stand in a queue for hours, that there's no accessibility.
Now they're trying to open it up. And now they're trying to open up with more testing centers.
Right in the beginning. After all, what is this flu? When we got our normal flu, which is this is the year, this is the time of the year where everybody gets colds and coughs and things like that. Everybody is now thinking that, oh God, I've got the swine flu. When 90% of all of what they have is the regular colds and coughs and flus. My son got a cold and cough. The school sent him back home.
Right.
He was fine in 2 days, as a matter of fact. But the fact is that the panic that has been created also partly by the media, because you know the coverage is so vast and so detailed that if there's one casualty, that it's blown completely out of proportion. Everybody thinks there are hundreds of people.
No, that's true. We have heard this, and we've tried to also scale down the way now we're reporting individual cases. We're trying to now look at the bigger picture. Shilpa Shetty, just a quick word from you on this decision to shut down multiplexes and theatres, because it was going to be a big weekend for Bollywood. Kamine was opening. What do you make of it? You think it's fair enough given that there is this threat, or again, bit of an overreaction?
Well, precaution is better than cure. And I don't think anything should be given more importance than health. And I think the decision that they've taken obviously is keeping in mind that people are suddenly panic struck, and they want to calm down the situation. I can see, suddenly now in Bombay it's catching up, and I'm seeing people moving around in masks, which is quite unsettling.
Tuba.com